So here we are, man. We're live. David Oblos, Jose Santiago, podcast number 2.
Now 2 images also we've separated. We're not together. We're split.
We're both in Cobb County, but yeah, when I left your house after the last podcast, it took me, I timed it. It took me 27 minutes.
Really?
So yeah. So I'm not doing that again.
Fell out of love with me that quickly. Haven't seen my home in 6 years, and that quickly you're out.
Pretty much. Dude, we got a busy week coming up, man. Busy week for you especially, right? My week is easy. I just show up and make sure the knot on my tie is straight and grab the microphone.
Is there not going to be a Halloween outfit for you this year?
Have I
you
ever
not engaged in,
Have I
you
ever
don't engage in the Halloween?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm already goofy enough, dude. I don't need any help. Like, no. I'm terrible at like dressing up. Like my ideas, whenever I have done it, it's like the worst idea. It's like I make myself look even more stupid than I already do.
Think about me, 45 years old, single. Everyone thinks I'm Dana White running a company. And my 2 best outfits are usually Richard Simmons or an Oompa Loompa. And neither one of those is going to help my image. So I don't think you can do much worse.
I don't know, dude. Mine is pretty bad. I'll come up with something really bad and people will be like, that's so stupid. His outfit is so stupid. So I'm just going to play it safe. Just going to put on my suit and ring announce and let everybody else up and look cool. I'm just not that guy, man.
Isn't there a Michael Buffer or a Bruce Buffer outfit anywhere?
No. I absolutely love Michael Buffer, right? I think he's like my hero, right? The dude is, to me, just so awesome. I absolutely hate Bruce Buffer. Not as a person, because I don't know him, but his whole gimmick and his whole ring announcing thing drives me nuts, dude. It's so
I agree. I've thought as part too much yelling, too much screaming, too much excited from fight number 1 on. With Michael Buffer, you know what you're getting. It is the main event. It's the fight you've been waiting for. But I think that's kind of the UFC as a whole. They yell and scream every single time anything happens. Joe Rogan sounds like a little girl yelling the whole time. And you wouldn't expect that in an NFL game, but you see it in the UFC. I've always thought you need to tone it down a notch, but that's why I run the NFC and I don't run the UFC.
Yeah. But it's so annoying, man. When I see Bruce Buffer and he's doing all the antics and he's kind of going around. I mean, there was one thing I was watching on him where he actually like sprained his knee so bad he can hardly get out of the cage. And then one thing that I saw that he also does is that when he reads his cards, like I always wondered how they flip their cards, and you never see them flip their cards. Because I have 1 card for each fighter, right? Plus my general announcements. But I didn't realize that what he does is he literally grabs 1 card, and instead of putting it in the back, he literally flips it. And then he picks it up on the way out. Yeah.
It's probably one of the camera guys that picks it up. That's probably someone's job just to pick up his extra note card on the ground.
All right. Well,
you need to have that person.
You need to hire that person.
Maybe Russ can do 2 things. He can let a girl into her cage and pick up a note card.
Russ cannot do 2 things. Come on, let's not push it. Russ is just fine as our ring card coordinator.
So you do during some of the fights I've seen the guys. You do the Bruce Buffer a little bit where you go in their face, you yell and you scream at them. I think you and Nathan Williams touch knuckles every once in a while. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've seen that.
So so first of all, yeah, I do it for the main event, right? I like to make the main event a big deal. I like to make it a bigger deal than any of the other fights. I will tell you this, and I don't know if any of the fighters are listening right now. I don't like doing the dap thing.
You do.
I don't like when fighters reach out. I do it with Nate Williams, but Nate, there's only 2 guys that I actually like doing it with. It's Nate and Mike Wilson, because they've done it since day 1, right? They've done it since they were amateur fighters, and I've ring announced their names. They've done it since then. And I want to say they were giving me like the whole dap thing before UFC fighters were doing it with Bruce Buffer. Like they were just, so, and I've been friends with them for so long that it's almost like, good luck. But some of the other guys, I've been tempted to just leave them hanging.
For 2 weeks in a row now, we've talked about Mike Wilson like he's a god. Like last week, we focused on him a lot, and now tonight we've already talked about him. Like we're Mike Wilson fan club boys.
Maybe we call the podcast Mike Wilson's podcast.
No,
let's do it.
I'm still trying to sell a sponsorship for it. These big time microphones cost money, so we still need to sell a sponsor for it.
That's true. We do need a sponsor for our podcast.
Our number one biggest fan, Nate Mann, said there's a little bit of echo on your microphone.
Okay.
Charlene just texted me the same thing.
Just like it's exactly what happens when when I'm announcing at the fight. Maybe that's a little bit better.
It might not be your microphone; it might be his speakers. So maybe our critics need to focus on themselves and not focus on the NFC a little bit.
That's right.
Nate, Charlene.
Because what we have going on here is like super high tech, very expensive stuff going on here. So they can't make fun of my studio. My studio is not my basement; it's an actual studio.
You're standing right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
This is where I work. So I usually go to the office these days, maybe twice a week. But other than that, if I'm not working at the office, I'm right here. This is my office at home, and I have one of those standing desks, so I don't sit down at all. I don't even have a chair.
Oh, nice. Jose, Nate just told me it's on my side, so I don't know how to fix it. So I'm going to kind of ignore it.
So what you might want to do is you might want to lower the volume on your laptop.
On the actual speaker here?
Yeah, the actual speaker. Because basically what's probably happening is your speakers are going into the microphone, causing that feedback. It's a technical thing. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
No. I just pay teenagers to get in a cage and fight. I wouldn't expect too much out of me, to be honest. I'm surprised my internet bill hasn't gone up now. Gone out from not paying it. So you haven't been to Tannery Road before, where we're doing the fights Friday, have you?
I have not, man. I heard so many good things about that place. I heard about how awesome the venue was, how amazing the crowd was, and then just to add to it, they said the fights that first night were amazing. So like everything just fell into place, and I heard how awesome that night was.
It did. I mean, it is in Buford, which kind of sucks. It's far away from us, but we have a lot of gyms up in that area, the 85 corridor up there. So we use a lot of fighters from there. So for those people, it's right down the street. It's an easy to get to venue right off the highway. It's free parking there. The dressing rooms are enormous. The dressing rooms are probably the size of most venues. They're well lit. They have bathrooms on both sides. For the fans, there's plenty of waiters and waitresses in there. There's plenty of bars. They keep their 4-course dinner menu in there. Where other venues like District are probably 70% standing, I think Tannery Row is probably about 80% seating. So almost everyone in there has a seat. We've been sold out of seats for probably 2 weeks now. I think we have less than 100 general admission tickets. So for a venue all the way up there on a Friday night, people are excited for the fights, and they're coming out to it. I don't know if it's a fight card. I don't know if it's because they like Jesse Wable more than they like me. I don't know if it's the venue, but it's hit a couple times up there. So
who doesn't like Jesse, though?
If he keeps selling more tickets than I do, I'm not going to like him. No one's going to care about the NFC anymore. It's going to be like the Jesse Wable Amateur Series, and then it's going to go to what is the Jesse Wable Pro Series?
That's right. But it's a big week. I mean, what does it entail? Like, what's the difference between because you've done just amateurs before, right? You've done just an amateur show before. What's the difference between having one of your amateur shows without it being the Jesse Wable amateur show?
What do you mean between this show and like a pro show?
And like one of the amateur shows that you've done in the past, I guess incorporating Jesse, what does that do? What's our goal here with having an NFC Jesse Wable amateur series?
I met with Jesse and Charlene. It was December 31st, New Year's Eve last year. So what was that? December 31st, 2020. We met up at Mall of Georgia. And I just told them I had ideas that I wanted to change things up. I not only wanted to add more shows, but I wanted to add another venue. I wanted to kind of add another series. Like we can do 10 shows a year, maybe 12 shows a year. But doing this Jesse Wable Amateur Series, if the NFC did an all amateur show, I think people would call me cheap and the pros might not support it. But by making Jesse in charge of it, making it the Jesse Wable Amateur Series, Charlene really has a lot to do with this one as well. Letting them kind of guide the ship and letting people see it's a different product at a whole nother venue. I didn't want this to be a district. I didn't want it to be at uh, Pink Pony at any other venue we're currently at right now at Center Stage. I wanted to be an all new show at an all new venue. And I've even thrown pros out to him. There's some pros in October that wanted to fight. And he kind of said, no, they're yours in November. I want this to stay an all amateur series. And it's kind of worked out that we have a lot of 0-0 guys on the card. We have a lot of one fight rookies on the card still after only one fight. And then we've got a good Cohen main event and a good main event. But this is the way for them to kind of get it going where they can fight on our later show at District or Pink Pony or Center Stage or wherever it might be. And it's all beginners. And Jesse's kind of taken the lead on a lot of it where I haven't had to do. So he's kind of worked on the blood test, the eye test, the contracts, making sure all the fighters have tickets. We had one guy fall off the card, and he made sure he got back his tickets so we could put them on sale to other people. So kind of these things that I normally have to do nonstop. There's income going to him, so he's made sure he does it on this side. So it's just hopefully to make my job a little bit easier, give him some more recognition and more money and more responsibilities. And that way it allows me to go out and add another venue, add another show, maybe even add more pro shows throughout the year to kind of grow this thing. We did one show in South Carolina last year. I want to do a jiu-jitsu show in South Carolina the next couple months. I want to do another MMA show there. So the more I can push off the Jesse and Charlene, hopefully it allows me some time to expand it and even start this podcast with you. People don't understand. These things have taken a good 20 hours of our time just to get this thing going right now. So helps the NFC grow and gives me a little more free time.
That's awesome. You mentioned the whole venue thing. Can you elaborate a little bit on what's happening with the venues? I think a lot of people are confused, right? The district is awesome, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just the way the crowd is literally on top of the cage. It's just such a great atmosphere. But I mean, being candid, right? It's small. We struggle there because it's like every time if you've got 6 really good fighters on the card, you're done. That place is sold out and it's like packed and it's tough. Sometimes it's tough. But so what's happening with the whole venue thing here in Atlanta?
So right now, Center Stage has got to change their policies a lot. Tabernacle has changed them. Live Nation owns quite a few venues in Atlanta, and quite a few venues in Atlanta. I think they're all on board now, but in the past year, they've kind of flip-flopped of whether they're 100% open, 90% open, 50% open. Every time COVID got serious, they'd lower their capacity. Every time COVID lowered up a little bit, they'd raise their capacity. With a lot of their stuff, those concert promoters have enough money to play that game. I don't. Once I name a venue 8 weeks out, I got to sell 100% of tickets to break even and make money. So I was never willing to take that kind of a gamble of venues being open or not. And now there's a lot of venues that are 100% vaccine or COVID test within 3 days. Some concert goers, I think, are willing to do that, depending on the concert and the venue. You might know better than me, but I don't think a lot of our fight fans, our fighters, our trainers have gotten the vaccine, and I don't think a lot of them want to get it. I've gotten it. I have nothing against it, but I don't know if I'm ready to put my crowd in a venue that they have to get vaccinated or a COVID test within 3 days, because I don't think they'd appreciate that. So that's where District has been willing to stay open for the past 2 years and let the fans decide what they want to do. Tannery Row is the same, and that's kind of where I'm personally leaning right now, to these venues that allow you to make that choice.
That's cool. That was a long-ass explanation. I didn't know you were going to go on and rant about it that long.
I didn't know you were paying for the minute right now. Next time you want a short answer, say, hey, let me ask you a quick question.
So who gets bothered for tickets, you or Jesse, or both?
I think neither right now. I think people have been trained since I left Wild Bill's, and I'm going to keep this as a short answer. But when I was at Wild Bill's, Eamon Lynn used to give out 3 million comp tickets to get the alcohol numbers up. When I left Wild Bill's, went to Center Stage, I lost money for 2 or 3 shows because I had to train people. There aren't free tickets anymore. So for the last 2 years, I hardly give out any free tickets, and I don't think Jesse's given out any either. I think people want to support us and they want to buy tickets.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's really none.
What's up with Tannery Row? Is that a like all ages?
It is all ages, so that's the cool thing. It's our first all ages show in a while. We had a lot of kids up there last time, a lot of families, a lot of these guys from that area. It's different up in there than it is in Midtown Atlanta. There's a lot more families, and we had a ton of kids out there last time. And judging by what I see in the ticket sales, I think we're going to this time, because at District, I see a lot of 1 ticket purchases, 2 ticket purchases. With Tannery Row, I'm seeing all the tables of 4 sold quickly, and that makes me think it's probably families of 4. So I think we're going to see a lot of kids in there Friday night.
Wow. We got a pretty cool title fight on Friday night, and I believe it's a rematch, right? It's a rematch of 2 guys that have fought before.
Yeah, Alex Caruso and Travell Miller both fought. This is a rematch for them. I like watching them both fight. Travell's a hell of a fighter, about the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Alex, I thought Alex won his last fight. I thought he got robbed. I'd like to see his opinion today because I haven't talked to him about it. But yeah, I'm expecting fireworks in that. That might be the co-main event, but I'm looking forward to that one more.
And they bring a crowd, because I remember announcing them, and it's like, it's loud when they're fighting. It's loud. You can hear their fan support.
Yeah. Alex, you weren't there for the last show, but Alex had a huge crowd last time. I think he was the top ticket seller and number 2. I think Josh Kozer was number 1, and he was number 2 or number 3. So,
wow. So which guy are we talking to first? We're talking to Alex first, and then Travell?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Alex and then Travell. Have either one of them clicked in yet?
Yeah, I see Alex on here now. So let's go ahead and play their promo video. As soon as the promo video is over, we'll go ahead and bring Alex in, and we'll talk to him for a little while.
My name is Alex Caruso. I'm fighting out of Straight Blast Gym, Buford. 145 pounds, fighting in a 5-round title fight. My opponent's going to be Travell Miller.
I am Travell Dolo Detroit May Miller. I'm the 145 Muay Thai champion, and I'm fighting Alex Caruso. I fought Alex Caruso once last year for the belt when it was just vacant.
There's definitely some controversy regarding the decision. However, you can't make excuses or leave things up to the judges.
I don't think I won the fight. I know I did. He wasn't messing with me. He a dog, but I'm a dog.
I believe that I am levels above him. After I win this belt, I'm going pro, and I'm just making a statement to put all these pros on notice.
He's not taking anything but a whooping. Alex Caruso, I'll see you when I see you.
I'm going to be fighting at Tannery Row in Buford in my hometown.
October 22nd.
Oh, there we go. Alex Caruso. How are you, man? Welcome to the NFC podcast, my man.
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So it's a rematch, big rematch this Friday night. How's everything going?
Fantastic, man. Camp, fantastic. Weight's coming off. Eating good food, feeling good. Just getting in those last bursts of cardio. Getting ready to do the thing on Friday night, man.
How's that SBG family? They getting excited?
Fantastic, man. Super excited. Can't wait. I know it's going to be a big crowd. We got big Parm t-shirts selling, flying off the shelves. It's going to be a lot of energy in that crowd.
Now, I wasn't at the last fight, and I guess, Oblas, you can elaborate a little bit more on it because I wasn't there. But some people were saying robbery. I heard it was like fight of the night. I heard it was a very exciting fight. How do you feel about that last fight against – it was against Cam Wallace, correct?
Yeah, it was against Cam. Cam was a solid opponent. Nothing but respect to him and his team. He had a solid first round, but I think a lot of people clearly thought I won the fight, and there was a lot of controversy regarding that decision. After watching the fight back myself, I feel like I could have done a lot of things better and put him away. So it was more frustrating for me to myself, like just what I could have done better going forward to convince those judges not even let it go up to the judges. So I'm honestly glad that the decision went that way. Because I was able to kind of look at the mistakes I made in that fight, even though I had a dominant performance, and adapt and move forward from there.
Oblas, you got any questions for Alex, man?
Yeah, I guess I talked to your trainer, Philippe Gentry, one of the refs after the fight, and we watched the fight, and the referee kind of told Philippe what the judges look for when judging a fight, what kicks of yours did damage and how a judge would have viewed it. What did Philippe talk to you after that?
Yeah, he was very detailed in his follow-up too. He talked a lot about how blocking punches kind of scores for them a little bit was one of the pointers, which is interesting for me. But I can definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, I think he also said a lot of your kicks to the head that didn't do damage probably wasted a lot of your energy just kicking him to the head but not damaging him. Have you thought about that? Is that changing?
Yeah, so I noticed during the fight that he was blocking the head kicks with one arm. So I was honestly just trying to break his arm. And after the fight, he couldn't lift his arm. So I did a pretty good job beating his arm up. But I thought through the guard it was still doing damage, to be honest with you.
And what did you you're fighting Travell Miller this time. You've already fought him once. He won the last time. How do you plan on changing things up?
There were some things that he was successful with in the last fight that we've definitely addressed for this fight. You know, obviously a good magician isn't going to reveal his tricks until after the show. But there are definitely some adjustments that we've made between the last two fights to kind of close those gaps.
And I guess one question I had is you've always fought in Atlanta. I don't know if you fought for me in Kennesaw at Cowboys. This is only our second show up in your hometown, Buford. You've now been on both shows. I think obviously you like fighting in your hometown. From a fighter having a couple hundred people in the crowd, how does that motivate you not only the night of, but 3, 4, 5 weeks out training to fight in front of your fans there?
It's super motivating. It makes you just want to rise to the occasion. You know, having everybody there, my family, my girlfriend, my coaches, my teammates, my whole tribe at SBG Buford. It really just makes me want to rise to the occasion. Some fighters might feel the pressure off that kind of thing. I feel like it enhances me and helps me do better.
And tell us about the nickname Big Parm. Where did we get that?
Sure. So after the fight, I make a huge tray of chicken parm. My whole family's Italian. My dad's got a secret recipe. And so I'll hook up all the coaches with some good food for helping out during the camp. I'll give it to some fighters that show up and help on extra time and stuff like that. Part of being Italian is just eating good food with people that are close to you. So when I go out there and I do my thing after cutting weight, especially, it's nice to just kind of give back and celebrate with the team.
That's awesome. Alex, what about life outside of fighting, man? People always have, I know I always have those questions. I
Sure.
see you guys always doing battle in the cage.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I wonder what this guy does like for a living.
So I work at SBG. I'm one of the Muay Thai coaches over there. I'm helping out in the fitness kickboxing classes. I'm also running our sales and our marketing team over there. So I've got, my hands in a couple of different baskets there at the gym. Outside of that, I just like going on hikes with my dog and cooking good food. I like eating a lot of steak and just hanging out.
No misses?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's got a dog too, and she loves her dog just as much as I love my dog. And we just do our thing there and go out to eat. We're foodies.
So you're pretty much a gym rat then? Yeah,
a lot of the time I'm at the gym. Sometimes twice a day, 3 times a day. Especially if I want to work out, it's like 3 times a day. So I do spend a lot of time there.
Now I've seen you do obviously the kickboxing and the Muay Thai thing. Is there MMA in your repertoire at all, or?
I've done a little jiu-jitsu. I know enough to basically get back up to my feet. I just do it for fun every once in a while. It's something that actually my girlfriend really enjoys. It's how I met her. So I'll do it with her every now and again, but it's not something I really am looking to compete in. My passion's in Muay Thai.
What's the ultimate goal in Muay Thai?
1 FC or Glory or a big promotion. And then maybe in my late 30s, early 40s, doing some seminars, traveling the world, and making some money doing that as well.
Going to Thailand is like the big thing, right? Is that one of your goals? Have you been there or not yet?
I feel like now, 10 years ago, I think that was a big thing, but now I don't think it's as necessary. You have a lot of Western fighters that are doing well out there. Guys like Liam Harrison, guys like Nikki Holshkin. So it would be cool to go to Thailand, but it's not necessarily like a bucket list thing for me.
Hey, Alex, for the guys watching you, how did you get into fighting? Because you seem like you have a good head on your shoulders. What made you decide to start training and actually wanting to get in there and fight?
I just wanted to learn how to defend myself, honestly. I didn't know how. And I feel like that, as a young male, it's important. So I started doing it as a hobby, and I just fell in love with it as a sport. It's a lot of fun. I really had no interest in competing when I started, but I didn't really have a passion for anything. I was young. I was 18. So it was fun to do something that got me fired up.
How old are you now?
I just turned 25.
Okay.
Oh,
Are you involved in the SBG Atlanta gym at all that they're developing?
No, I'm staying at Buford, and I've kind of moved up into different roles at Buford while people that were in management kind of moved over there to Atlanta.
Okay. And going into fight week now, what does fight week mean to you? Tonight's Sunday, so that means
Sure.
weigh-in Thursday. The fight's on Friday. Tell us a little bit about what this week is like for you.
Sure. Just getting the rest of that weight off, getting the mindset right. At this point, it's not a lot of hard training because you don't want to be banged up or sore at the fight. So just pushing the cardio, getting the mindset right, and just taking my time, getting to that fight, taking everything moment by moment, and just kind of visualizing that fight.
The guys at SBG, there's different personalities, I guess, right? And the guys at SBG are always very well disciplined and very well behaved. What do you think? What do you attribute that to?
I think we have strong leaders at the gym, especially our coaches. Coach Patrick Parger, Coach Sean Coleman. These guys, hold their students accountable. And I think that there's a level of respect within our tribe, like that we keep with our teammates, taking care of each other. And it just attracts a certain culture, and there's a culture fit there. And if people don't fit that culture, they don't tend to stay around very long. So I just think it's a nice vibe we have going over there at SBG.
That's awesome. So we've got Travell on deck, and he's going to be on in a few minutes. Any last words for Travell? Anything you want to tell him before you guys meet in the cage here on Friday?
Just stay healthy, get to the fight, and I'll see you Friday, man. I can't wait.
Well, we're wishing you the best of luck, man. We'll obviously see you. I don't know if there's a special nickname. Do you want me to say Big Parm in the cage when I announce you? I can if you want me to.
Yep, Big Parm's great, man.
All right, awesome, man. Well, thanks for joining us, man. We'll see you on Friday. Well, actually, Dave will see you at the weigh-ins. I'll see you on Friday night, and good luck at the fight, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for having me.
If you want to learn how to put together a cage, you can stick around Thursday at 6 p.m. and we can teach you that.
I don't know if I'll have the energy for that.
He's doing everything else, man. Give the guy a break. All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
take care, Alex.
Take it easy.
Later.
That's our first guest in our history.
Yeah.
It went pretty well.
It is. He is. When he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, that'll be the induction speech. You were the first guest at the end.
I think that's also our firing squad to Joe Rogan, that he better watch out because we're coming.
Rogan's in trouble. Joe Rogan's in deep trouble. Well, we've got Travell. Travell's the champion, isn't he?
He is. Travell's the man.
Yeah, so let's bring in Travell. Travell, I see that belt, my man.
Hey guys, what's up?
What's going on?
I'm here with Justin
You keeping it shiny there?
Yeah, I'm keeping it nice and shiny. I got it put up. I'm over here with future champ Justin McCullen, by the way. It's my boy. Say
What's going on, Justin? I've never seen Justin sit so still before in my life. Usually he's flailing around and kicks going everywhere.
I'm surprised he's not calling me on Facebook Messenger right now. He calls me about 5 times a day on Facebook Messenger. So.
Oh my God.
So Travell, it's fight week, man. You got to defend that title. How's everything going?
It feels like I'm living a dream. A couple of years ago, I was the scrub, maybe like the second fight on the card. Now, Muay Thai champ. It's feeling awesome.
That's great, man. Yeah, you're definitely one of the most exciting guys. So you fought Alex before, man, and you're fighting him again. What are your thoughts about fighting Alex for the second time?
My thoughts on fighting Alex the second time is I know that he's lost 1 or 2 fights so far. So I know he really wants it. It's in his hometown. So I know not to sleep on him. A dog will still bite. How much it's been beat on. So I'm coming at him with a caution that he needs to be wary of. Just like he's working his stuff, I've been working.
Yeah, I made a comment before we started talking to both of you guys that you guys bring in a crowd. Your crowd is extra loud, man. You got a nice little crowd that follows you around, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Those are like my they've been there since there when I was just watching boxing. Hey, you want to box? You want to box? Now, I'm finally doing what I said about all my friends and my family. It's a few of us that actually are in motion, and it's just looking. It feels good to do what.
We're breaking up just a little bit on your side. Dave, do you hear him cracking up a little bit?
I hear him going in and out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. It's that Wi-Fi connection wherever you are. Either that or it's Justin causing interference.
So what? Hey, Travell, you've done both now, MMA and Muay Thai, and I think you shocked the world on your last MMA fight when you ended it by submission because you probably had very little jiu-jitsu skills. Are you ever going to fight MMA again, and which one do you like more, MMA or stand-up Muay Thai?
Whoa, okay. That is a good question. I never thought I would like MMA as much as I did until I got in there. Keith Trent, I believe his name was. He was a phenomenal wrestler, and it gave me something to think about. But I would say Muay Thai is still my favorite. It's like my roots where I come from. But MMA is, the next step to the evolution of the career. And that's what I gotta fall in love with the process. So jiu-jitsu is like the next thing that I need to work on. My shot, the one shot that I tried to do in the fight was horrible, but I worked, for like 2 months straight on that shot. I'll get a lot better by the next time I get in there.
Which shot did you hit him with? I don't remember.
No, I mean when I tried to shoot for a single.
Okay, it was a single.
Horrible. It was I do admit it.
Because I watched some of your wrestling training videos when you were training before that fight, and I think Jesse sent me a link to one. But I watched your wrestling videos, and you look not very good wrestling in the training footage I saw. So I don't remember how your single leg looked.
The guy wins one jiu-jitsu match, and he starts criticizing people on the ground. One match.
I'm like,
I've also only competed in one match, so I've only won one because I've only competed in one. If I start entering more, I'm going to be. I'll still be undefeated.
Oh, you buy off the judges though. That's not fair.
I don't doubt it. So if you were a judge, who's going to win this Friday? You or Alex, and how?
I'm definitely going to win. It's just a matter of how. I'm hoping for a blowout. I'm hoping for to get first or second round knockout. I know he has a little bit of toughness on him, so we can wear that down. If he makes it out of the second round, then we got a war on our hands.
And I'm going to look as we're talking right now. You guys fought 3 rounds last time. Is Friday night 3 rounds or 5 rounds?
It's 5 rounds, and I believe we fought last time. 5 rounds.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, it was hell. I remember 5 rounds. It was 5 rounds.
5 rounds is tough. What about you're the amateur champion now, but what are your I asked Alex the same question. Like, what is your ultimate goal here? In your fighting career.
Well, my goal is to actually rank up 10 fights in all, whether it's kickboxing, MMA. I want to definitely get some more MMA under my belt and go ahead and make the switch to pro. A lot of people tell me that I should just make the jump now. But in all honesty, I've only been fighting, training to fight for the last 3 years. I will make the jump when my team, says it's going to be beneficiary to me, and I just won't be, making a dumb decision, because once you go, there's no coming back.
Right. Right. Well, we're really excited, Travell. I mean, it's going to be an exciting night. It'll be my first time announcing there. I'm really looking forward to it. I love announcing all your fights because I know it's going to be a banger. So I'm looking forward to it. Any last thoughts? Any last thoughts for Alex? Anything you want to tell him?
I can't wait, and I hope he stays nice and healthy, just like he wished me. I wish you nothing but the best and all the good health. I'll see you in there.
Cool, man. Well, we're really excited, man. Excited to see you on Friday.
I'm coming, boy. I'm coming for your head. I want all
I
of
knew
that.
it was coming. I knew that was coming.
You making me an offer I can't refuse? Boy, I'm going to refuse the hell out of you, boy. You what?
Whip his ass.
I'm boy, the Italian stallion, my ass, boy. I'm coming for you. That's all I wanted to say.
I knew it was going to come out eventually. I got it. All right, champ. Listen, congratulations on all your success so far. We look forward to Friday night, and we know, like I said, man, I know it's gonna be a burner, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, take care. Not bad, man. Two cool dudes.
Yeah, I've only been in one music video, and that was Travell's girl. He messaged me and he said, "Hey, would you mind doing a favor? I know we don't know each other that well, but my girl's doing a music video, and we need an old white guy to play her father, and you're the only old white guy we know."
We got a little cameo guest. We got a cameo guest in Justin McCullum there. He's not on the card, right?
No, he's still he'll still Facebook message call me 5 times a day. Like every time my phone rings, Facebook Messenger, which I never answer, it's always Justin. Or he'll send me and Jesse like smiley faces throughout the day, a photo of his dog. Like Justin McCollum's out there. Maybe we'll have him on one day. Hopefully not anytime soon.
Yeah, he's a cool kid. Likes to talk trash. Got himself into a little trouble talking some trash last time. I don't know if you were thinking of stepping in just to help him out or not, but he got into a little trouble, man.
I did step in. I think I had to block, and this is probably private stuff, but I don't care. We blocked him from the NFC community for a couple of days. I had a talk with him, and he basically had to apologize to the people that he offended. They accepted it, and we all moved on with our lives. So that's what happens. I mean,
he started attacking the family that almost got me killed by Matt Serra. So I almost had to jump in again.
We're not promoting golf tournaments. We promote fight nights, and people get angry sometimes, and it is what it is. It's part of the sport. You know?
Yeah. So speaking of part of the sports, we've got our man sitting on deck, Jesse Wable. We get an opportunity to talk to him. Going to play a little video of Jesse kind of talking about his show, and then we'll bring Jesse in here.
My name is Jesse Wable, and I'm the matchmaker for the National Fighting Championship. We are showcasing some of the top talent and some of the top amateurs that Georgia has to offer. Get your tickets. This is going to be a stacked card. I expect this to be the fight card of the year.
Jesse,
what's going on, man?
What's up, brother? Hey, man, fight card of the year. That's a lot of talk. We've had some good fight cards that you've put together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is going to be a really good fight card. I'm really excited about the main event and the co-main event. I think they're both really, really going to deliver. I absolutely cannot wait for the Alex Caruso versus Travell Miller fight, especially after just watching y'all's interview. Man, that just got me pumped up. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, talk to us about the main event, though. We don't have those guys on, but talk to us about that main event.
So Mike Bardsley versus Jonathan Francois. It was actually supposed to be the main event at my first amateur series. Unfortunately, about a week and a half out from the fight, Mike Bardsley broke a rib and had to back out of the fight. That's one of the fights that I've been really excited about, and I think the community's been really excited about. Jonathan Francois, 3-1. His only loss is because his shoulder popped out, and the referee had to stop the fight. He wasn't able to continue because of it. But all of his other 3 wins are all by knockout. Mike Bardsley is 6-0, undefeated as an amateur, trains at American Top Team, Team Lima, which is one of the best gyms in Georgia right now. Those two both have never been in a boring fight. Jonathan Francois, like I said, his 3 wins are all by knockout. And Mike Bardsley's only been to a decision one time. 5 of his other fights were all by finish. So I know that fight is going to be really good.
No love lost between them either, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan Francois was bummed when the fight got canceled the first time, but there's nothing that you could really do about it with the injury. But at least we got a book for the second show.
So I've got a question. That's a lot of stats you just read off, and a lot of info about both guys, their record, their knockout, their gym, even what injury they had. How much stuff did you have to write down on a notepad before this, and how much is just memory of these guys?
Absolutely. Nothing written down. This is all up here. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's fights, NFC fights. It's my passion. I know everybody, every coach, every fighter from Georgia. It's what I do.
I think years ago when George Kinnebrew was around, I'm sure both of you guys remember George Kinnebrew. I think people used to call him the encyclopedia. I never asked him why, but I think it's because he knew all the info about all the guys. And
he called himself the encyclopedia.
What's that?
I said he called himself the encyclopedia.
The MMA encyclopedia.
Yeah, he called himself. I don't know if you said, well, the only reason why I'm interrupting you is because you said everyone called him the encyclopedia. I think George called himself the encyclopedia, and then I guess everyone kind of jumped on board there. But go ahead.
I'm going to start calling myself Tall. So hopefully everyone else will call me Tall if that works well. But I remember at that time, that's when Jesse was coming up as a matchmaker, and I used to talk to him a lot. And I'd be like, holy crap, he remembers every name, every stat, every trainer, every this and that. And that's the part I'm horrible at. Like, I've got horrible memory. Like, I hardly even remember your guys' first names, to be honest, like that. But Jesse would remember every stat about every guy. I mean, did that even go back before you were a part of it?
I mean, really, like I said, after I stopped fighting, I asked you to commentate. You were hesitant at first, but let me on. And I just know after all the fights I would commentate, I would message you and say, David, you should put this guy versus this guy. And man, David, this fight would be a really good fight. Why haven't you put these guys together? And eventually, I think you were just tired of me probably messaging me and asked me if I just wanted to make the card myself. And, the rest is history.
Are you the same watching UFC and wrestling? Like, do you
remember? Of course. Of course. I know everything. Basically, the only 2 things I watch is the UFC and WWE and AEW. It drives my wife crazy, but it's really the only thing I watch.
So there, you know what? Funny you say that, Jesse, because part of that kind of fascinates me, right? Because it's not just you, right? I don't want to say the MMA community as a whole, but there's so many people that follow MMA that follow WWE. And I don't understand the connection, because I used to watch like the WWF in the 80s when it was, when it was Hulk Hogan, obviously, and all those guys, the Iron Sheik and all those guys back in the 80s. Haven't watched it since, but I don't understand the connection, because from my perspective, and, pardon the ignorance, but from my perspective, it's like we're so in tune with real fighting, and then WWE, although they're very athletic, I don't take that away from them. I get it. You can't just jump into do what they do, and not just the average Joe can go and do what they do, but it's scripted. I mean, does that not take away from what we really do with the real fighting?
It's scripted, but it's real. It's a big entertainment thing too. It's like the male soap opera for me. I love it. Some people watch Young and the Restless, blah blah blah. I like watching WWE. But a lot of it too, I like the entrances. I'm a big entrance guy. Like our first show at the Tannery Row, Dave kind of got mad at me because I wanted the fighters to walk out on the stage. There's a big stage where everybody could see them right in front of a big screen. But it kind of took away of some of the tickets we could have sold, kind of got in the way of security and a few other little things. But I really am a big entrance guy. I used to love the entrances at Wild Bill's. Man, there was nothing like it. There was nothing like, especially as a fighter, standing behind that curtain, waiting while your opponent's walking out, and then hearing your name get introduced, and that curtain rising up, and 2,000 people in there looking at you. That was the best. I miss those entrances a lot. But I'm just a big entrance guy. A lot of that has to do with pro wrestling. I think they kind of both intertwine.
Yeah, I'm big on the entrances too. I think Oblas is about to shoot it down right
Yeah,
now. Here he
no,
goes.
I was going to say the entrances, that's what I live off of as well. Like when I'd be at the treadmill, I'd hit on YouTube like WWE wrestling entrances or famous boxer UFC entrances. Now during college football season, I watch like college football entrances and the fight songs, and they have those on replay on YouTube. And it just kind of got me pumped. I always thought about it as well. And I remember Jesse doing the Pittsburgh Steelers jersey for the entrances at Wild Bills back in the day. And I mean, even I'm going to go to it again. I'm probably going to go to every single show. My 1-0 in jiu-jitsu, I had a pretty cool entrance. My fight, I'm not even going to call it a fight. My match, whatever you're going to call it, my match. Sorry, Nate, man, it's not a fight. It was a match. My match was boring with no skill, but my entrance was pretty damn good.
Yeah, that was definitely a good entrance.
It was okay.
It was good.
Jesse, are you dressing up? You got a costume for Friday night?
I am. Me and my wife just went and got one yesterday, actually. Well, it'll be a little surprise. We'll show y'all at the fight night.
So I'm the only one that's not dressing up then.
Oh, you're not dressing up?
No, I've never dressed up.
Hey, David, we got to get that $200 fine going for Jose then.
That's more than what I make to announce. What are you talking about, man?
Sucks for you. Maybe you should dress up.
Maybe I should dress up. I'm not going to, but maybe no, I'm not, because I know that Kimberly's going to dress up. I know that Charlene's going to dress up. Now you two are going to dress up. I don't know about Julian. I don't even know if Julian's going to dress up or not. But yeah, guys, I just can't do it, man. And I'm the oldest of the bunch, so I can get away with it. I can use that as an excuse.
How old are you now?
I am 48. I'll be 49 in March.
Okay, so you got me about 3 years. I mean, you're not going to be the oldest person in the crowd or the oldest trainer.
I guarantee that there won't be anybody older than me dressed up in a costume.
I think in the crowd there will be. People like dressing up for Halloween.
$5 bet, both of you.
On it.
Yeah, it's a $5 bet, man.
So that's no one in the crowd or no one in the venue dressed up older than 48.
That's right.
So if anyone's listening and you're over 48, come dressed up and I will give you $20.
Just to win. Just to say you won. You're gonna lose.
I will make it range $20.
Just to say you beat me. That's fantastic. Yeah, do it. Whoever it is, please show up. Please show up so that Oblas has to pay you $20.
And this is not everybody. Not for everybody, just the first.
Every single person that walks in, Oblas is just going to start dishing out $20.
Someone else is going to dress up as Dave Oblas. Find him.
So Jesse, what's your week like, man? What's your week? I mean, I guess comparing to the one other show you did, what's this week like? Because I know you work a full-time job, dude, right? You work full-time, but the fights are on a weekday. What's it like?
Yeah, I do. I work Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. So my weeks are pretty busy, just with work. And then I have a newborn daughter. She's 4 months old. And then, dealing with up to 20 to 30 fighters a day in my inbox. It's a lot to juggle. I get most of the matchmaking and, finalizing everything done on the weekends. But this week, normally my vacation days at work, I use for fights if I have to. A lot of times we have fights on Saturday, so I don't need to, but this one is on a Friday. So no worries. I just took a vacation day. I'll be off Thursday and Friday. So basically just working this week, Monday through Wednesday, crossing my fingers that nobody backs out and I don't get messages while I'm at work to ruin my day. And, that's basically about it.
How do you deal with that, dude? That's got to be one of the toughest parts of being a matchmaker. And it's happened recently, right? On some of our shows, we had a big fight pull out, and we actually had two big ones pull out recently, for whatever reason. How do you deal with it, dude?
It's a bummer, man. I mean, I hate to see pros, amateurs. I don't care if you've got one fight, no fights, you're a pro. I just hate to see people back out of fights. Like Dave mentioned earlier, we got a lot of 0-0 guys this weekend. I'm crossing my fingers that nobody backs out and doesn't, ruin the opportunity and the moment that these guys have been waiting for. A lot of them are trying to make their debut this weekend. I just hope everything goes smooth this week and they actually do get to make their debuts and everybody does get to fight. But it's definitely a pain in the butt sometimes dealing with some of the fighters. There's hundreds of different personalities you got to deal with, and it's just sometimes it can be a pain in the butt. I try my best to, not get so angry about everything and really blow up on anybody, but it's rough sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think that when it happens, obviously I'm not dealing with it at the level you guys are. I'm just dealing with it. I'm reading about it on the NFC community page on Facebook, and then I'll send Oblas a message, and I'm like, that dude should never fight for you ever again. And then usually what Oblas says is, well, no, he's always calming everything down, and then he says, but that's what Jesse was saying too. Maybe they should never fight for us again. Because I guess I'm more like you. It's just like, here's a great opportunity and you're just blowing it, just for whatever reason, whatever excuse you're coming up with. It's like, man, how could you blow it like this?
Yeah, like I said, definitely a pain in the butt sometimes.
Oblas, how do you stay cool all the time when that goes down, man?
I think I was an asshole years ago, and I think it goes to last week when we talked on the show that a lot of people didn't like me in the past, and I've tried to loosen up a little bit, but the part I hate, like Jesse says, if me and Jose are fighting each other and I fall off, it not only affects the whole fight card, but affects Jose's fans, his friends that bought tickets, maybe Jose's mom that was flying in. So it takes a huge opportunity away from everyone else. I mean, in tonight's Atlanta Braves game, you can have the Braves versus the Dodgers, and Freddie Freeman might call out with a fake injury or whatever, might not be able to play. Well, the game still goes on. Everyone else still gets to watch the game. Their ticket is still good. They still see an entertainment. In a fight night, it's really not like that. I mean, look at Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. If either one of them got injured, instead of that card doing a million pay-per-view buys, it would have been on PBS for free. I mean, it completely changes all the work that we've put into making this main event happen. If either one of them pull off, it changes, the ticket sales, it changes the customers, it changes our production, changes the walkout music, changes the graphics for Jamie. It changes what you do, changes what Spencer does on the production wise. I mean, once one guy falls off, there's so many wheels in motion that have to turn on fight week. And then if we get someone else to take a spot, do we have to change the weight? Does that guy have his blood test, his eye test? Will the athletic commission approve it? Do his fans have enough time to go and buy tickets now? So it changes a lot when a guy falls off, and that's why we hate it so much.
So do you guys are advocates for possibly getting the commission involved?
I've told Matt Woodruff before the athletic commission should get involved anytime I turn in a contract. So once a fighter signs a contract, I send that to Matt Woodruff immediately. If a fight ever falls off a card, I think the athletic commission should contact that guy, find out why he fell off, get a medical excuse or whatever kind of documentation, and they should take it from there. If he really fell off with a true medical reason, no punishment. But until he proves that, there needs to be some kind of punishment, a $20 fine, a $50 fine. I don't care what it is. That's up to them to figure out, but there needs to be something. And that protects the fans. It protects the fighters. I think if most fighters are fighting, they'd want the other guy or themselves to know there's a fine out there. I think we'd see less dropouts happening.
Is that not something you guys can put in the contract?
I think we can individually find guys, but then they'd absolutely hate me. They'd hate Jesse. They wouldn't want to fight for the NFC. They might take the next opportunity that comes to them, knowing that they might get fined $100 if they fall off. So they might go to the next promotion, and that's why I say it needs to be an athletic commission thing, not a promotion thing.
Jesse, how are ticket sales going for this Friday night? I mean, I have the ticker running at the bottom to get tickets at nfcfighting.com, but I don't even know if are there tickets still available?
Yeah, ticket sales are going really well. I think we've got 6 seats left, and the rest are all standing general admission. I think we've got maybe 150 general admission left, something like that. But yeah, ticket sales are definitely going really well. I think people really like the venue at Tannery Road. The first event, was really amazing. The turnout was way better than I think me, Dave, Charlene thought it was going to be. And I think this one's going to be even better.
So is it close? Is the venue close to your place?
I live 7 minutes from the venue, so I love it.
Sounds good.
I absolutely love it.
So if you can maybe have the baby sleep in your bed with you and Tiffany, I'll sleep in the crib because I'm not 7 minutes away, but I'm going to make the hike anyway.
If you need a place to stay, let me know.
Any last words about this Friday night?
Man, like I said, just super pumped. The main event, Mike Barsley versus Jonathan Francois, is going to be nuts. I know that fight is going to deliver. Alex Caruso versus Travell Miller. We've got a lot of other good fights on the card. Yusef Amir versus Roberto Sosa. Moses Lee versus Cameron Burton, both 1-0, super exciting fighters. The card's pretty – I know David hates this word, but it is stacked from top to bottom. I cannot wait for this event Friday. It's going to be good.
Well, that's awesome. Jesse, congratulations, dude. I think this is really cool. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. I was telling Oblas earlier, who doesn't like Jesse Wabel? I mean, I don't know. Do you have any enemies in the MMA community?
I'm sure there's a few that don't like me, but, you know, that's okay. It comes with the territory.
They usually don't like us.
Have you banned those people yet, Oblas?
They're on their way. They're on the fast track. But I will say they usually don't like us when they do something wrong. I mean, there's really not anything that we do wrong to launch the missile. Usually when fighters or trainers don't like it, it's because the fighter did something wrong and there had to be a punishment. Right?
And that's what they hate the most, especially from a fighter's perspective, right? They don't like being told anything. Yeah. Well, cool, Jesse. Thanks for joining us, man. I know that you're a busy dude. Tomorrow's a work day. You got 2 babies at home. Tell Tiffany we wish her the best. Oblas, leave Tiffany alone because you hassle her quite a bit. She hassles you too, in all fairness. So anyway,
she loves Dave.
Take care, man. Have a great night.
Thanks, man. Y'all too. Appreciate y'all having me on.
All right, man. Take care.
See ya.
Flawless.
That was all done from memory. That was no note card, nothing written down for him. I knew that was all memory as he was running it off, and that's why I wanted to make sure he told everyone that. If you come up there on Friday night, he'll know who you are, when you fought, who you fought, how many tickets you sold, and where on the spreadsheet on our Google Doc you were on that spreadsheet. Me, I won't even know who you are. I'm horrible memory.
It's just funny how you've put together this staff of people, man. Just good people with Charlene and Jesse. We've got, like we said on the last show, we've got Julian, and it's just a good nucleus of people that are just making the wheels spin a lot easier than they used to spin before.
Yeah, and I think I just texted you that Julian just texted me that he's watching from Hawaii right now and said it would look good. So
wow.
Julian, Jenna Lee, Jesse, Charlene, the athletic commission does well with these days. Our cage setup, people might laugh, but our cage setup and takedown with Eric Bullock and Greg and the other guys, that's one of the huge things I worry about show to show is getting the cage there, getting the trailer there, get it set up. I think this time we're setting it up Wednesday night. So we set up a good day or two early when we can to make sure if anything goes wrong, we have time to fix that. But that's been, since I got Greg and Eric involved, it's been a dream come true for me that it makes it a hell of a lot easier where I don't have to stay to the venue till 2 a.m.
And working with Flow Combat, that's been good too.
Yeah, I mean, that's allowed us to hire Spencer and his production crew to come out and do it. Every fight is 3 camera angles, 2 commentators, replay. And the replay comes in handy for jiu-jitsu. Some people don't know, but with a black belt, you get an instant replay for jiu-jitsu. They can kind of throw this green beanbag, and we go up to I don't go up to the cameras. Nate Mann, Clay Bennett, and Will go up to the cameras. They watch the replay and determine if they made the right call with the black belt or not. And without Flow Combat and Flow Grappling, I wouldn't be able to afford to do that. It would probably just be Tiffany Wabel sitting there with an iPhone in her hand taping the fights.
Right.
So we've had a good career for a couple of years now, and hopefully it stays that way.
That's awesome, man. Well, we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Tannery Row on Friday night, dude. I'm looking forward to it. I heard such great things. I'm looking forward to checking out the venue and seeing how awesome this fight card is going to be.
Yeah, like Jesse said, we're sold out of cage side seats. We're all sold out of tables. All that's left right now is the general admission standing, $50 each. You get them on nfcfighting.com. They go up the day of the show if we have any left. We have sold out the last couple of shows at Tannery Row District. And next show is back there on November 20th. And then December 4th, we go back to District. So that's our year wrap-up right now. October 22nd, November 20th, and December 4th.
That's awesome, man. Well, cool, dude. The Braves just hit a home run. The game is now tied 2-2, so it's almost like a brand new game. So we didn't miss anything. So special thanks to everyone who tuned in and checked out our second podcast. We'll be doing this on a weekly basis. Hopefully we'll be back next Sunday and we'll do it again. We'll be able to talk about the fights and talk about the next show.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you, everyone.